nothing like a little afternoon breeze. I mean, it's not the morning breeze. It's the afternoon breeze.
That's right.
We're a little more relaxed here. We've eaten. A couple of bathroom breaks.
Oh, yeah.
For me and kid, for some reason, kids just show up randomly. Got a lot to get into on today's episode, man. As got to hear from Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson today. A very, very good conversation with those two at the podium. Thought there was a lot of interesting insight. Thought there was some interesting updates we're going to have to get to. And this offseason may be a little bit different than a lot of people were planning on. Dare I say, there may be no Crosby in our future. Ladies and gentlemen, the date's 1/21/2026. It's 3:06 in the afternoon. And hey guys, is that Ringo?
Hey.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Hey, Ringo.
Hey. I'll be out here serving the Lord, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, the rest of us have too.
You other devil.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
What was that? I'll be out here serving the Lord. All the rest of us is just done, dude. BGG's out here.
The hellfire.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star for y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I realized I didn't play the intro, but we're here now. Don't worry about it. Everybody good? How y'all feeling, boys? This is the afternoon, little afternoon breeze. Ringo, we gotta update that camera angle, brother, or the hairline's starting to go. One or the other. We're gonna have to figure it out.
Come on, man.
I'm assuming it's the angle, Ringo, because you look it up. Are we losing some distance? Hey, I lost a little. It's okay.
How you doing, my boy?
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on, man.
Right. Hey, what's on the tablet behind you, Ringo? What's playing on that tablet?
I just put it on the charger.
But it's playing a video.
I was gonna say something's playing.
No, it's not.
It's clearly playing a video.
Fam, do y'all not see a video playing?
I see something.
Because I got the
Hey,
it's not playing a video.
Listen,
it's off the dig.
I can't make it out. I just wanted to make sure it was appropriate.
Hey man, is that appropriate? What you got going on over there, dog?
No, what was happening?
It's WWE. It's WWE.
I did think it was wrestling. Okay, but I saw a pin.
Things going.
I saw a pin, and I was like, I don't know if that was a pin I just saw.
Oh God! What a start! What a start.
This is why we can't all be on the same stream no more. Hey, man, a lot to get into on today's show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Appreciate y'all for showing love, man. Let's start it off here. I thought that, the overall takeaway from this press conference today with Ryan Poles and with Ben Johnson, I thought that, they reflected on the season, and the big takeaway was it was good. You got a lot better. You did not get to your best, and that there's a lot that still needs to be done this offseason to find ways to continue to improve the team to what you would hope is eventually a championship level. It does seem like they're very confident in the quarterback that they have. I mean, why wouldn't you be after everything that we saw this season? It seems like they are very confident in the coaching staff that they have, and even going out there and being able to replace those pieces heading into this season. Boys, what was your overall takeaway from the press conference? And were you like me? You left it feeling a little bit like I love the fact that Ben Johnson kept saying last season, like it wasn't 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Like he literally was like, we moved on. Ball up top. All right, great job, guys.
All right.
Right. Somebody.
So what is happening? So my takeaway from it is that, I mean, it's like you said, Ben Johnson has moved on. I like the fact that he kept bringing up the point that basically last season was last season. We're going back to the drawing board. I
back
also
to
like
square one.
I also like the fact that he's telling everybody, hey, take a couple weeks off. I need y'all to like decompress from football. But like once we get back to it, we're gonna get back to it. He talked about some of the strides that Caleb Williams made, and he got better within the season. But I feel confident that he's gonna have this team ready. If you go back and think about it, right, everything that he said from that beginning press conference when he first got here translated over to that ending press conference that we saw.
Yeah.
This team has fight. We know that this team has an identity. This team has accountability from the coaches. This team also has accountability from the players. So that's what I like from his side. Now, on the flip side of that, from Pose, especially about the Crosby situation, I liked what he said, because when he said it, I'm just thinking of the situation of just to bring this to basketball for 2 seconds. You don't want to end up in a situation like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because I've also stated it multiple times. I feel like Milwaukee was in a situation where the Jimmy Butler thing happened with Drew Holiday. Always time to ship Drew Holiday out. So what did you do to get Drew Holiday? We shipped out a lot of picks to get Dame. And we know the situation that happened with Dame, but now looking at that situation in the future, you kept Brook Lopez too long, and now there's no picks to be had in that situation. So now you're stuck.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I like the fact that he's saying like, hey, we're not gonna panic. We got to kind of assess, because he feels, and Ben Johnson feels, and that staff feels, everybody around that building feels that they might be 1 or 2 pieces away. But he's not just gonna say, hey, we'll give up XYZ, this, and this for Maxx Crosby or whoever. And come to find out when we start the season next season, oh yeah, we actually 2-3 pieces away, and now this is not the team that we thought it was going to be. So yeah. I liked the press conference from both sides, Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles.
What I got from both of those guys, I was really impressed. I think the main key for the offseason is going to be being aggressive and also sustainability. From Ben Johnson's perspective, I feel like I was blown away by just his awareness of the moment. It's almost as if that game, like you said, was about 2 months ago. Like you're looking at the next season. Like we're literally on to the next. I'm not looking back anymore. I think even he mentioned somebody tried to ask about a certain play, and he said, well, this is how it happened, but I'm not going to really go into detail about it because we're moving forward. And so one of the big things that I took away from what he said specifically, Ringo mentioned it, is the fact that we're nowhere near where we need to be, and we're starting over. Yes, this season was a success. You're ahead of schedule. You got probably further than you thought with one playoff win under your belt as a first-year head coach. But every year has its own challenges, which is why I totally agree that, we're back to the drawing board. We're back at square one, because you don't know how the other teams are going to improve. You got a lot of coaches and staffs that are being intertwined and changed on the go. Yours may be different. He talked about them having a 5-star staff, but they're going to be away from us, and you already see that happening with EB possibly going back to the Chiefs, and then other potential coaches getting chances at interviews for whatever position on other teams. And so for me, I think I love the awareness that he has that, yes, this team is going to get better. He gave credit to Caleb, but knowing that every year it's a different beast. You have a different schedule. You have teams that are improving. You have teams that are regressing, whatever the case may be. You're not going to be at the top of the draft this year. And so how do you attack the offseason when you're not in, the 1 through 10 anymore, and you're in the 20s? You're at 25 for the draft. So for me, I think that's where you kind of see whether or not him and Ryan Poles are going to be aggressive. The Maxx Crosby situation, I forgot who asked the question, the dude from the Big Show. He had kind of like said, is he out? And he kind of just alluded to like, hey, I don't know, man. So they're not going to do anything crazy. We talked about the draft picks possibly being given to the Raiders for, a potential Maxx Crosby trade, the first and for the 26th draft and the first for the 27th draft. But I don't know if Ryan Poles actually wants to go that route. He probably wants to build through the draft. Maybe he does want to take a chance on just getting his own prospects and not messing up the money for the long haul, which is where the sustainability comes in. Because if you're giving away your future value in draft, whoever you bring in has to hit, and they have to be here for the now and for the long term, because your window is going to close very quickly. So I love the thought process going into the offseason. I think it's going to be aggressive, but also try to keep some sustainability for the team.
What you got, kid?
I think the best thing for me was just, the real season now is Ryan Poles. Ben Johnson's pretty much done the bulk of his job. He's gotten us through the season, things of that nature. So I'm glad. We always knew that he would be moving ahead. That's just how he's always spoken about it. But now looking at how Ryan Poles handles it, it's great to see that he's very even keel and level headed when it comes to making moves with this team. Whether we know that Ben Johnson and DA and all of them are going to be integral in him evaluating talent, they have their scout teams and things of that nature. But ultimately, it's on Poles to make the move, and to know that he's not sitting out there. We all think that Maxx Crosby, we're just one Maxx Crosby away from the Super Bowl. That may not be the case, right? What do you have to give up for him? What other holes that we have to fill? And more than ever, I feel like we have more holes on this team than we've had in years past, to be honest with you, because of how inconsistent we played. Yeah, Caleb put the cape on and it showed out, but I mean, there's a lot of first-year players that had to stand up in this year in this situation, and you got a lot of questions when it comes to health on your secondary. We finally got healthy toward the end of it, but half of those people ain't gonna be there. GJ ain't gonna be there, or potentially, Kevin Byard. I mean, Ryan Poles did commit to some. He didn't commit. He said he would be happy to have him back, but that's not a commitment. So it's good to see that that's there. But Kevin Byard is older.
Kevin Byard is also the only player he mentioned by name, though.
He is on the player he mentioned by name, but he's on the other side of 30.
He brought up Jaquan. He was asked about Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard, and the only player he mentioned by name was Kevin Byard.
He was also asking about DJ Moore too, but anyway, but to see that situation, he's on the other side of 30. At a certain point, Father Time is undefeated, especially in football. Your offensive line, I think he alluded to that. You have to start thinking about retooling those guys. Yeah. Joe Tooney is not getting younger. Yeah, he had a Pro Bowl season, but the main thing for us now is to keep Caleb protected. So you have to start building that farm. So I'm just happy to hear that he is thinking about that as opposed to just betting the farm on one player. And I'm excited to see what that translates to as we get to the draft.
I'll be honest with you. When I heard it today, my eyebrows perked up because how it sounded to me when you make a statement of what was the quote he said? When you do things that everyone wants you to do, you can get yourself in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the old adage of if you do what the people in the seats tell you to do, you'll be sitting with them. That sounds like off rip. Not to say he won't check on it, but we're probably out on Maxx Crosby.
If you listen to
you're probably not going that route to try and improve your team this offseason because of the things that you would have to give up, because of the draft capital you would have to give up, because of the pieces that you would have to give up. As much as I mean, listen, I'm willing to, right? Because I do think this, and this is the gamble that you got to play. Your Super Bowl window's open.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, you should be competing for a Super Bowl. That's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
You were one game away you were one play away from being in the NFC Championship this year. And yes, we were inconsistent. And yes, there was up and downs. And yes, it did take some miracles for you to be put in those positions. But the miracles were created by the star quarterback that you have, that the expectation should be that he's also going to improve next season, that the wide receivers that are working with him are going to improve next season. So for me, plant the flag now. You should definitely be competing for a Super Bowl next season. You should be in that NFC title game trying to get to the Super Bowl next season. That's the kind of improvements that you do need to make. And that's why, to me, you don't have very long in that window. You usually get about 3 years. That's about it. The Legion of Boom, as dominant as they were, back-to-back Super Bowls, most dangerous defense, it lasted 4 years. Now you've got a quarterback that can keep you going. So, like, very similar to how they had Russ. Russ kept them competitive, kept them in the game, but they never were a Super Bowl candidate really again after that because you never got that perfect mix again. So you have to attack while the iron's hot, being a Super Bowl team. And what you don't want to do is say, well, I got to worry about the 2035 Bears, so I can't invest in the 2026 Bears. So I do wonder how aggressive they're going to be this offseason, because the bottom line is this. Whether you go after Maxx Crosby or not, and it does sound like they're probably out on going after it. They're not going to close the door, right? If the deal's right, the deal's right. But bottom line is your defensive line has to get a heck of a lot better. And it's probably not going to get better with the names that you have on it right now. Grady Jarrett is who he is at this point. You love him for what he is. You hope that he comes back and continues to be a leader and give you some nice nice production, right? Dio Dambo sucks. He sucks. He's probably gonna suck. You hope that he's gonna improve, but he's an expensive piece that you dropped a lot of money on. He's probably gonna suck.
You're not gonna move him. Yeah.
You got Montez Sweat. You got Gervon Dexter, who's fine. Gervon's fine.
He's fine. Yeah.
He ain't great. He's fine. You got to improve in a big way. So that now means, like you guys said, right, with the 25th overall pick, you need to find an edge rusher and/or an interior pass rusher. Oh, by the way, something to think about is we got a little bit of an update on Ozzie Trapillo today as well. Ryan Poles said he probably won't be back until deep into the season next year. And you don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. You might have to draft a left tackle again. And I'm going to be real with you. You want to be proactive on that. If you see one that you think is going to be a starting left tackle in this NFL, you might have to take him kind of high.
Or do you go the route of a left tackle that is a veteran? And
you
just
could go veteran route, but
1 year.
Usually good veterans aren't on the street.
They're not readily available, and that's the issue.
If I'm being honest, we have to remember that Ryan Poles also came from the Chiefs. You look at how they built their team over the years. They found their Chris Jones. They found their, like, Ryan Poles was there when they found their Chris Jones.
Yeah.
And Chris Jones wasn't the Chris Jones we know it early on. He had promise. He was a second rounder. He was definitely poised to be a impact player, but he wasn't who they was. And this is the right draft. And I think there's some edge rushers that are, what is that kid's name?
Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami.
I couldn't tell you nobody in the draft. I ain't even started my breakdown yet.
He's slated to go high first, though.
Couldn't even tell you.
You're talking about the linebacker from Miami?
Miami, yeah. And he's slated to go higher, isn't he?
That's first five.
That's first five right there. Yeah.
So the edge rusher.
I mean, that's going to get more into the
rusher.
Yeah, Bain.
That's going to go more into, as we get more into draft talk. But I look at it like, with the way that we are built, we have a 1 year window for our offensive line and maybe a 2 year window to start building our defensive line. I say 1 year on our offensive line, meaning like you have to start retooling it. And that's actually what they did with the Chiefs. Yeah. They started to retool it. And by the time they found their quarterback to get them over the hump, everyone was there. Chris Jones at that point had been in the league, I think 4 years, and had already had a double-digit sack season and started to be that guy on their defense. So he's, but that was organic. They drafted.
Talking about when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they won the Super Bowl, he got there before Mahomes.
Yeah, he was there before Mahomes. 16? I mean, Kelsey was there. What I'm saying is, like, he's piecing that together. If you really look at it, you look at the structure and things of that nature. Yeah, it's Ben Johnson's, brainchild. But at the same time, that roster construction, the pieces that they use, it looks a lot like KC to me. That's how I look at it.
I think so. For me, I think best case scenario for the Bears, I think you end up. Or you want to look at the 49ers situation. I know that just got blown out. We know what the score was with that. But again, it was like I said when the season started. Muggs was like, "Oh yeah, they don't got Ayuk, they don't got Debo. We're fine with Jennings. We're fine with Parasol. We sometimes just
they find pieces and find a way to make it work.
You gotta find those pieces. That's how you wind up retooling because hey, Kittle's getting older. Now look, Kittle just had a situation. Tondas is really good. They're probably gonna have to find somebody to replace Trent Williams at some point. But
The point is now.
they're going to find those guys. They're going to keep retooling. So I think that's the best situation that you can hope for, because as good as Shanahan is, they're always going to be in the mix because Lynch knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So
no, it does come down to Ryan Poles, continuing to build. You're gonna have the Chiefs won their last Super Bowl with a completely different identity than their first one.
Absolutely.
Their first one was, we're gonna put up 50 on you and just beat you over the head, and you ain't gonna know what happened. You just gonna look up to, oh God, what happened? We lost. How did we lose?
Yeah,
the team now and the team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago was defensive.
Very different team. Yeah.
It was a defensive team, and Travis Kelce was still young enough to catch the football and run. That was essentially the entire makeup of that team. You know what I mean? So you do have to go through different waves and different cycles and figure different things out, and you're gonna have to adjust the offensive line. You're gonna have to adjust the defensive line. But to me, you have to get to that point first. And how I live and how I want to see it play out, not to say you go all in and give up, but I thought this was a very poignant point that my guy Jack McGrath brought out on the Chicago Bears podcast last week or yesterday. Look at the Los Angeles Rams. Name me their last 2 first-round picks.
Come on, Jared Verse and Braden Fisk.
Braden Fisk wasn't the first-round pick.
No, he wasn't.
Jared Verse.
Jared Verse.
Name me the last first-round pick.
Wasn't Kyron, was it?
Nope. Keep going back.
No, it wasn't Blake. It wasn't Blake.
Oh, wasn't it?
First round pick.
It was Cup, wasn't it?
Cup?
No, Cup was actually a
first round pick.
Cup was like
a gem.
Is it Puka?
They just know how to draft.
Jared Goff.
Oh, well, number 1. Yeah.
Those are their last 2 first-round picks.
Okay.
So when you have the guy, right? And I'm not saying
I mean, to their credit though, they have to give away all their first-round picks for Matthew Stafford. But
but Stafford came way later. You talking about not having first-round picks after Jared Goff. Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. They were consistently winning games. They were an 11-win team. They were able to continue to build that team. When you're winning and you're going for it, sometimes you got to retool. Sometimes you got to revamp. You know what happened when they finally had to pay the piper? They won 6 games that year. You know what probably led to those 6 games? The fact that everybody was hurt. But they won 6 games. You know what they got out of them 6 games? Jared Verse. They still have a heck of an entire defensive line. They still have a heck of a receiving core. They still have a heck of an offensive line, although Coleman Shelton did have to step in. That was a little concerning.
Offensive line was looking
that was a little concerning. The Coleman Shelton part, but that's because their starting center got banged up, right? They still have one of the best DB groups in football when they are healthy, right? They found ways to continue to revamp that thing up because you had the answer to the most important question. Whether we thought that he was the answer the first time or not, in Jared Goff, he was an answer enough to get you to a Super Bowl because you had the right head coach in place. So I think you do have to, I agree with Ryan Poles. You don't want to sit there and just start throwing first-round picks away and going after it all and only going and getting, top pieces and top names and the glorified names. But I do think you got to be a little bit more aggressive than it sounds like he's being right now. Because yes, you do have to build it up through the draft. But you can do that with 2nd and 3rd round picks if you make the right pick. Your guy who may be a star running back for you moving forward that outperformed the dude that was drafted 5th is a 7th round pick.
7th round pick.
Don't draft a punter.
Don't draft a punter.
Man, how many times we gonna keep going to that dang well?
Every
Anyway.
Fourth round
time.
punter.
Every
Fourth round
time.
punter,
You want to
dog.
know why? Because I watch another punter every week.
Kick the ball.
Punt
I don't want them to gain another
that
yard.
wasn't
I agree
drafted.
with that. I agree with that. I will always defend Tory Taylor though. But to your point, like when you look at great organizations like Kansas City, like they took a hit this year. But I looked at a recent mock draft, an early mock draft, and they said that they might end up getting the Notre Dame running back, Jeremiah Love. Could you imagine
That's
that
what they
man on
need,
that
though.
team?
They need that.
They need that, but imagine that type of talent on that team. That puts them right back in the wheelhouse. Like that type of talent with Pat Mahomes passing the ball. And so to your point, I think that yes, Ryan Poles needs to be. I think he needs to be aggressive. I told you in the last morning breeze that I don't think I'm not going to be okay with him just sitting on his hands and saying, okay, let's not do anything crazy. But I don't want him to keep the same roster intact. Like if you need to make a move, you need to let your fans' favorite bear leave. If we need to let go of Jaquan Brisker to let go of some salary or to not pay him so you can put that money elsewhere for the defensive line and go after a Maxx Crosby. We're not saying we're out of Maxx Crosby, but if you can get that value in him.
I think Ryan Poles kind of said that.
I feel like he just kind of dismissed the idea because it's early. It's like we're just not getting started with the offseason. Of course, you're going to do your due diligence and look and see if that's a possibility. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for him, though. I'm not going to lie about that. So maybe that isn't the way to go. But my whole point is be aggressive.
Nah,
I give up 2 picks, a player.
Yeah.
I give up Ringo. I give up JC. I keep Kid. I
Fire
want Kid
me!
here for Maxx Crosby
Fire
conversation.
me!
Yeah, right.
Fire you!
But here's my whole
over
idea is just be aggressive. Just be aggressive.
Hey, shout out to Jimmy though. Shout out to Jimmy though. That's tough.
No, I think to that point, right? Like it is going to be interesting to see what we do with some of the names that we have in the building. We kind of alluded to this, but the one player that was brought up today, when asked about the safeties in tandem and is there an opportunity to possibly bring both of them back, was not Jaquan Brisker. Ryan Poles said Kevin Byard is a special player. And he's a player that you want to find a way to bring back. We have to speak with his representation and figure out what that price point is going to be. But he went out of his way to say, that's a player we want in the building. And then he said, and I believe, let me see if they got this up here, because I believe, I want to make sure that I say this right. But, and I quote, we also have to figure out what's going on with the rest of the safeties.
Yeah, he's got about 4.
When you get thrown into the rest of the safeties, I think that's a interesting conversation on your importance in the re-signing market. Now, does that mean that he's not going to re-sign Jaquan Brisker? Does that mean he doesn't want to re-sign Jaquan Brisker? I wouldn't say that, because we talked about it this morning, JC, that we saw Velus Jones survive 6 years that he should have never got here. I mean, it felt like an eternity.
Championship game.
It felt like an absolute eternity, bro. Like,
yeah.
But so maybe they do find a way to get it done with Jaquan. But it didn't sound like that was priority number 1 heading into this offseason.
I think what you mentioned earlier about leadership, you love what Kevin Byard did. In the aspect of leadership, when we talked about that Tariq Stevenson catch, or rather when he actually did do good, and I believe he either defended a pass very well, but then he's sitting there celebrating again, not realizing the moment, hey, let's get back to the huddle. We still got another, possession to stop. What are you doing? That's probably what impressed Ryan Poles, is that's what you want on your team. Also, alongside of that, Kevin Byard was one of the better safeties in the league. As I said, you dominated in a certain category where you were taking the ball away a lot, and you're still a sure tackler. So even though, yes, he is up in age, I feel like that is somebody that needs to stay here because of all the different things that he does on and off the field.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay Jaquan Brisker a pretty penny if he has to stay here. I talked about the contracts with the top safeties in the range of $15 million and above for the top 10 safeties. If he is clearly a top 10 safety, that's probably the range you're going to have to pay him. Do you want to do that, or do you put that money towards like P. Kid said, we got a lot of holes to fill. So
Got a lot of DBs on this team making a lot of money. I think that's the tough part. Here's what Poles said specifically on safety. He said, we're going to take a step back and evaluate that and put that puzzle together. It's actually 4 safeties that are not under contract for next year. I have a lot of faith in our process that we'll do that. I think that Kevin Byard is a special player. I have no problem saying that that is a player that we would like to have back. But again, when you add the other safeties into the mix and all the other decisions that we have across the roster, cap restraints, things like that, it will be a challenge, but that's part of what we do. Again, I go back to when you add the other safeties, you mean the guy that I would agree with you, JC, is a top 10 safety in the NFL? That's the other safety? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that, to me personally, I thought that was very telling.
You got, I don't know. Again, this is why I'm not jealous of the seat that he's in, because you and I think even you mentioned that the question that you asked about this past year's draft, where essentially he hit in every single one of the drafts, and you mentioned I think even the potential of the ones that weren't able to play this year.
Jamar Turner started looking pretty good.
And Zay Frazier, you know, you should have confidence that maybe along with Ben Johnson and the staff that he's going to get this right if they do go the route of just relying on the draft. But because you're drafting later in the rounds and possibly getting some compensatory picks if Cunningham goes back, that'd be nice.
Two-thirds?
2/3.
I'm not mistaken.
Is that 2/3 at the end of the 3rd round? So is it like 2/4?
I couldn't tell you right now.
I
I don't know
because
because we're at the end of the 3rd round. So
okay. But for me, like those are those opportunities you have. So if you don't want to go all in and push your chips into the middle of the table and say Maxx Crosby or Myles Garrett or Trey Hendrickson, then fine. You have to be on your details.
So if Ian Cunningham were to be hired by another team like the Atlanta Falcons, the Bears would receive 2 3rd-round compensatory picks, 1 in 2026 and 1 in 2027. So probably at the end of the 3rd round.
You know what also like throws the monkey wrench in this is any moves made now as far as signing anyone to a long-term deal, acquiring anyone who has a multi-year deal. You have to start looking at how that money is going to match up with what you have to pay Caleb. Remember, Jalen Johnson, I believe, was the highest paid Bear. No, DJ Moore had the highest contract, right?
DJ Moore had the highest contract on the team.
Jalen Johnson has Caleb Williams is about to dwarf that. That money
but all their contracts also come off at that time.
So, but what I'm saying is,
so
like,
I believe Jalen's finishes, DJ finishes, Tez finishes, Grady, Tooney, all of them come off when you got to pay Caleb.
So right now he's like a 10, maybe I think let's just say 15 to be generous because I don't know the exact number cap hit, but that's going to dramatically increase because now you know you have your guy and you got to pay him what having the guy money is, and we're talking about $250 or more at this particular point.
Yeah,
we have never been in that situation before where we've committed that much money to a player. We've never been in that situation before.
We never had a quarterback before.
Yeah,
so like,
we've had one of my guys asked me when if Caleb wins an MVP, would he surpass Derrick Rose as the most popular person in Chicago? And I was like, yeah, obviously, like it would be like we've never had a quarterback do that. He was like, who's the last time the Bears quarterback won an MVP? And I was like, Sid Luckman. Oh, he's like, who is that? I was like, 1943. This one won. He was throwing it to Bang Bang Yabansky.
Oh my God! I don't know Bang Bang.
Anyway, kid, go ahead.
That's hilarious.
No, so like right now, like when I look at a Crosby and all the other holes that you have to fill in, I think his contract goes for the next 4 years. He's a 4-year. Jesus, he just got paid.
He just got paid. Yeah,
worth every penny.
He's worth every penny, but then how much do you hamstring your team? Because now you have to you're getting Caleb extended by the end of the 3rd year. By the end of the year, you're having that conversation on extensions. Now that money may not kick in and that dead cap may be spread out, but like now when you sit there and say, hey, I got to pay Caleb 40, I got to pay this guy 40, that's a huge chunk of that. Yeah, somebody ain't gonna be here. So how do you build that out? That's where my mind starts to go. Like building through the draft is the way to go because now you're not so worried about who you pay. It's all about developing. And that to me is like we have the right person to scout the people to develop the talent. Like Luther Burden is definitely outperformed his draft position to me. When
Yeah,
you
he's
look at
not-
his
he's not the
schedule and
first
stuff like that,
Yeah, but
he was a second
he's not
rounder,
the
but he
fourth
played
wide
like a
receiver
first.
We
in
know
this
it.
draft.
Just going back to the Luther part, like we knew it. I had already said I felt like Luther was the best receiver in the draft. He just had a down year. Like that's literally all it was. Like the year he's supposed to come out, he just had a down year. They got the best receiver. They got
I don't know about best.
the best receiver in that draft.
better.
Yeah.
Ted
Who's better
McMillan
than
pretty
that?
good.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Who?
Ted McMillan pretty good, though.
I ain't
I
taking- I'm
mean,
not
yeah,
taking
yeah,
Ted over
but
Luther.
Hey, bro,
if-
Ted got Bryce throwing him the
if-
football, bro.
I'm not taking Ted
Lu-
over
if
Luther.
Luther and Ted, if they both had that full season, I feel like you little to me. But
Ted
it's,
McMillan,
I got
1,000
a
yards,
question,
7
though.
touchdowns. He pretty good wide receiver, bro.
I mean, yeah, he pretty good. He pretty good, but I still like
Ibuka?
Luther.
I'm gonna say this: the reason why
Now, that's the
I
conversation.
have Luther
He
over
fell off
him.
at the end of the year.
I have Luther over him for two reasons. One, Ted was not in the same situation. Luther had to deal with you have a first rounder before you. You got a DJ
And
Moore.
that was my. That
You
was
also
my
have
point.
another.
Yeah.
You have another first rounder in Colston Lovely, and that ball is getting spread evenly.
all the targets. Yep.
And they didn't play him in the slot a lot,
Yeah.
which you thought they would play him in the slot. They didn't play him in the slot. So with all that being said, he still like made his mark and I think had 600 yards. How many yards do he have? Is it 400 or 600?
Who?
Talking about Luther?
Luther ended up with. Hold on. I do think you're right. I think he was right around 600. Let's see stats. He had 652 yards, 2 tutties.
Worth every outperformed.
There you go.
Oh,
Now listen,
he's
Ted
great for the
is
spot
like
he
the
at.
star there.
Yeah.
More of that was at the
Let's
tail
go
end
there.
of the season. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
he's great for the spot he's in. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it's some good wide receivers in that draft. You know who does suck though?
Ted is
Matthew-
good.
I
I'm
mean, Golden.
taking Luther.
Yeah, you know who does suck though? Matthew Golden. Hey, take that with
Man,
you.
you
Pay
dang
that.
right, FGB.
But I got a question because I'm curious on this because we did bring up this name and Trey Hendrickson. Could it be that Poles is just like, nah, we out on Maxx because he's been looking at Trey?
Could be. I mean, listen, you
Right,
don't have to
right,
give
right.
anything up to go get Trey, right? Like you don't have to trade anything. You can just sign Trey. Now you got to figure out how to make the money work. You about $5 million over the cap. Somebody about to lose their job. You know what I mean? Like there's somebody we're gonna be looking at the end of this that's a high paid player, and it's like, or a restructure comes, right? And I think, you know, maybe you're in an interesting situation to restructure a DJ Moore because you're like, listen, it's gonna be restructured. We trade you, and you finally started winning. Do you want to be traded? Yeah, I mean, like but do you also want to put yourself in that position? You got to figure out how to make that level of money work. Concern with Trey is the injury. Lack of concern with Trey is the fact that he can get you 17 and a half sacks in a season. And maybe he's a little more willing to play through injury on a team you want to play for.
I was gonna, bro, and that's the reason why I brought it up because the Bengals got like 4 or 5 dudes that requested a trade during the season.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe he's looking at him. I feel like if they get him, they're
Could be.
still right up under that, right on that Super Bowl contention mark. So I mean, maybe he's looking at him. Maybe that's a better get than Crosby. So
Here's the one thing I do find interesting, though, and it's kind of, you want to push it off as far as you can. But if you believe that you are in any sort of Super Bowl window, your cap's going to be strapped no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have money. You know why? Because you feel like you have built a team that can go to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl teams aren't usually the teams that we go, woo, got $40 million to spend, baby. Here we go. What are we adding to this team? No, it's usually teams that have a bunch of high-paid players and get to the Super Bowl, and it's mixed up with a bunch of rookie dudes on their contracts or second, third-year players still on their rookie deals where you get the opportunity to have that perfect mix. I think you're in that situation now. I think adding wouldn't be going to the point where you say we have to add the talent and it's going to cost us an exorbitant amount of money. So we're going to have to get rid of some middle of the pack pieces to make sure that we have that level of talent. I don't think that's a bad spot for you to be in, because here's my issue. You spent $50 million on Dio Odangbo and he's not very good. What was the point of that? Like, we always, the one thing I don't want to see the Bears go back to this offseason is go bargain shopping. Because we've done bargain shopping. Hey, we're going to have 2 players to make up. I heard somebody, it was when we was in the studio, right? Drew brought up, building a team like Moneyball. You know what they didn't win in Moneyball?
The chip.
A World Series.
Yeah.
It's just a good story.
I don't want a feel-good story.
It's a good story. That's all it is. The teams that won the championship, the Boston Red Sox, and Buzz was like, well, they did the same thing Moneyball did. Yeah, but they paid for talent.
Dodgers. Yeah.
The Dodgers, who
Hey,
didn't
man,
ruin baseball.
don't bring them up, bro.
I'm just saying, they doing what they got to do to win.
No,
They have
they're
ruined
cheating.
baseball.
They're cheating.
Like,
They doing what
The
they gotta
MLB
do to
step
win.
in. Sick of this.
They're gonna lock out the lock. I was cracking up though, because they were like, Kyle Tucker was the last straw. We're locking out, and I was like, Kyle Tucker was the last straw for real, dog.
After all the people you
Bro,
got.
the crazy thing is they gonna get schooled.
Because this is what is funny about the hate on the Dodgers, and we ain't gonna talk baseball on here. Is if he signs anywhere else, nobody has a problem with it, and they're gonna do the exact same thing. They would have deferred $70 or $80 million worth of money, just like the Cubs did when they signed Bregman, just like the Mets just did when they signed what's old boy just went over there.
Oh, you talking about
Where did he come from?
I can't think of his name.
Buddy from
Bubba Shea.
Oh yeah.
Everybody deferred money, but he signed with the Dodgers. F this guy. I'm just saying, don't worry about it. Cubs deferred a lot of money there too. What was you gonna say, George? There you go.
I was actually. I know
the
we're
Sox
mentioning
doing?
the big names a lot. We talked about Miles. We talked about Max. We talked about Trey.
Yeah.
But there's another name that I'm actually interested in, and maybe might even be the route to go. And I know a lot of people in the chat are saying it. I don't know if he's available, if he wants to leave, but Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive tackle from the Titans. I mean, you could work a deal around trying to get somebody like him who is a game changer.
Didn't they just say they're not getting rid of him though?
Well, I know that he's ecstatic about the Robert Saleh hire from the Jordan Schultz interview, but I don't know if he wants to go anywhere. I'm just saying that's a name out there. If you're talking about not necessarily having to give up so much trade value or draft value to get somebody that's as impactful as him on the interior, maybe that's the route to go, is find somebody that could be the nose tackle or the interior tackle and upgrade from your guys that you got there.
Hey, you know why he excited? You see what Quentin Williams was doing in that defense?
Yeah.
That boy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
He finna chill right there with Saleh. He about to be like, we taking heads this year.
One can dream, yeah.
Like, look, here's the reality of it. You're going to have to spend if you want to get to that level, or you're going to have to draft elite. Now, we also live in a world here that is very realistic because we want to go get Trey Hendrickson, or I heard some people bring up Khalil Mack.
I'm cool with Khalil.
You got the dude in the building that drafted him. You have the dude in the building that went out into a combine, looked at him and said, yeah, that's a star. We need to go get that. And Dennis Allen. So there is a world where you do just go all in on the draft and try to improve on the draft. I just wonder if that's one that is a fix that's quick enough for you to get on the field and be impactful. Because here's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says so.
Oh.
The DBs that you have, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, if you re-sign CJ GJ and or Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, the linebackers that you have, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, if you like bringing back a DeMarco Jackson.
DeMarco,
bang, bang. None of them matter if you can't pressure the quarterback. So your entire focus this offseason has to be, we need to find better ways to pressure the quarterback. And unfortunately for you, you invested a lot of money and you got 3 dudes that don't do it very well. It ain't just find another edge rusher. you got to find Javon's replacement. You got to find the guy that's going to eventually make Grady Jarrett a little bit more expendable.
Maybe, hopefully,
That
there's
guy's
Shamar.
not on the team right now. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe he is. Shamar Turner might be that guy.
Maybe.
But you don't have that guy. You got a lot to find in one offseason. You're going to have to do it through the draft, and you're probably going to have to be aggressive. So we'll see what ends up happening there. I thought that Coach Johnson did a great job. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I like Allen's commentary. He said, I'm trusting this coaching staff. You got dang right.
Yeah.
This a coaching staff that you could trust. Who would have thought we could ever say that?
1 stars of coaches.
You weren't one of the
it
ones
ain't
that was like,
wrong,
I'm
man.
trusting Flus, though, are you? Because it was some of us that was out there was like, look at Pat acting like he know football. I'm trusting Matt Eberflus. I was like, all right.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Hey,
Top
remember
time
when
for
they
you.
said they trust Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy? We said that.
We
We
said
said
what?
that.
Trust
We
man.
trusted
Trust man.
Ryan Pace
Nagy?
and Matt Nagy.
I don't know if I said I trust
we
Ryan
say that?
Pace.
The first year.
I think you were more in on trusting Ryan Pace. No, because it wasn't the first year. Ryan Pace had already built the team that failed. So I was already jaded by the time kids showed up. I was like, hey. He can't draft first round picks.
Ryan Poles
know
got it
Matt Nagy.
right now, but I mean, just last season,
Oh yeah,
you
it
were
been
like,
bad.
hey,
No, it been bad.
it was
Hey,
bad.
I said I trust the coaches, not Ryan Poles. I trust Ben
Right,
Johnson
hey.
and Dennis Allen.
The difference between Ryan Pace and Ryan Poles is they hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Pace has some good picks.
Yeah, but Ryan Pace also paid the net like $40 million. Yeah, that's a big difference. Ryan Pace ain't miss on that one.
he thought he had a run. He thought he had a moment. He swung for the fences.
Hey,
He just missed.
Hey, but
He missed.
how you
He
missed
missed.
bad?
He missed.
Hey, the ball was thrown
missed.
behind him and he swung.
Trash. My God.
I thought this was interesting though. Hearing from Ben Johnson today, the other message that I thought was very prevalent today was the belief in Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson came out and literally said, I'm Caleb Williams' #1 believer. I thought there was even a little bit of a call out that kind of was like, listen, Caleb's got it. We got to be better in certain areas, especially when talking about the wide receivers. Let me see if I can find this here. Kind of called the wide receivers out. What is self-evaluation? Trying to find this.
So.
I'm trying to on DJ Moore mindset. I can't. I'm not pulling it up right
While
now.
you
But
try
I
to
believe,
find that, I'll tell you one thing.
I believe
Rome
pretty
already
much
feeling
what
the heat.
You said what?
Rome is already feeling the heat. That boy, I understand. He just not make the most of his opportunities this year.
No, he didn't. He did not.
He understands that. And if Luther Burden was considered the best receiver of these young guys, that says a lot because Luther Burden was drafted, was a second rounder.
Yeah. So basically what Ryan Poles ended up saying is we got to have guys that go out there and catch the football.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of that. I think the Bears were top 5 in drops this season. They were a team that consistently, I mean, how many games do we talk about where we go, man, if he just catches that, this is over. Olamide Zaccheaus in the Washington game. Rome Odunze down the field in the Cincy game before the big catch by Colston Loveland, right? Like
Did he go to school?
There's so many plays there. Colston Loveland, he went to Michigan. How'd they do versus Illinois last time?
Hey-o.
How'd they do versus Illinois last time? Oh, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay.
Best young tight end right now?
Hey. Yeah, best player out of Michigan ever. But best Michigan Wolverine I've ever seen.
Ever seen is nuts.
That's wild.
Best.
I don't even watch college football.
I don't know where you're getting that.
Maybe that is true for me. Maybe that I have ever seen too. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
We all watch Tom Brady, guys. I'm just joking.
I didn't see
I'm
Tom
just
Brady.
saying.
I didn't see Tom Brady.
I don't know.
You just closed your eyes the whole time.
I didn't watch Tom Brady at all in Michigan.
Oh, I'm talking about that made it to the league. That will but no, listen. It seemed like he was in a position where he really had the back of his quarterback, and he talked about the development that Caleb had this season, and he talked about how much he improved. And he said, listen, sometimes we just got to catch the football. And I thought that was truly him going to bat and saying, listen, like when you look at the advanced numbers and stuff like that, Caleb's exactly who we want him to be. We just got to be better as a team around him. And part of that is on Caleb, right? You have to elevate the play of your teammates. You have to get I can't tell you the number of times I've seen those franchise quarterbacks take dudes that make no sense and they go out there and beat you. Hey, I hate them, right? But it is impressive what Jordan Love is able to do with some of the names that's on that football team, bro. Like,
yeah.
Bo Melton, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it is kind of impressive to see how much success he's able to have when we literally go, there's not a wide receiver on this team that scares me at all.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I do look at Caleb in that situation. I feel like he has to elevate the level of the team. I think we saw that in that first Packer game where he did, or that playoff game versus the Packers where he did do that. But overall, I thought that the coaching staff, and I thought when Caleb Williams spoke, he did it too. He kind of put it at the feet of the receivers and said, listen, I'm giving you the opportunities. You got to take advantage of them.
I love the mirroring of the head coach and the quarterback. Caleb and Ben seem to always show that leadership quality where they're not necessarily putting anybody specifically under the bus when they speak, but you can kind of get the clear message that there's an issue that needs to be fixed. With Caleb, he talked about the miscommunication, which we talked about shouldn't have been an issue in week 20 when you're in the playoffs with your supposed number one receiver. Like, that should not be a problem. And Courtney even spoke to that. Then, of course, Ben, whenever he needs to speak up and say, okay, well, there's an issue with the receiving or we got to catch balls better, we know that who those people are.
Yeah.
We know that when he says, even in the middle of the season, he talked about the leadership issues and how some people need to speak up more when it comes to the problems and the little details. That probably was a direct shot at Caleb. And Caleb answered the bell by being more of a leader. We saw him be more vocal, especially in the playoffs, where, hey, this is one and done. Let's get on the same page. And so I love that about the leadership and the head coach and Caleb moving forward is, I think, hopefully the people will follow that message and continue to get better. One thing that I do love about going into this next year, Ben Johnson said as much as we're going to work just as hard, if not harder, going into OTAs and training camp. And the crazy thing he said, he didn't look at it as anything different from where he came from. All these players this year found this training camp to be so just hard and blistering. And it's like, no, this is the standard that you need to be at in order to be a great team, to get to where you want to get to. We came up short, so we're going to work even harder. So expect that. And so that's where I appreciate those guys being the leaders of the team.
And the one thing that I liked was the fact that he even alluded to it, and Ryan Post kind of talked about it, like they know that they have a team built for pressurized situations when they get in those moments, even though Ryan Post does not like the fact that they're called the Cardiac Bears. Mm-hmm.
I did like that he said that too.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I don't like it. I'll take whatever wins I can get, but
I don't like it. I'll take whatever.
I don't want to live there.
But you now know that when you get into those situations, you absolutely have that guy. And I spoke about it a couple weeks ago. We now know that Caleb is, whether it's going to be next year or the year after, Caleb is going to wind up ending up in that, last drive of the game, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
And he can win that battle.
Oh, we got to go get a score? I ain't got no fear.
Yeah.
I ain't got no fear.
And to know that this isn't like a CJ Stroud type of season.
Now why we got
and I'm not trying to dump on CJ. I'm really not.
Why was you so stressed about Stroud? What?
What?
Instantly real.
What is CJ Stroud trade, bro? Why? I
mean, let's be for real. CJ Stroud
didn't hit. That was crazy.
CJ Stroud is probably still going to be.
I just needed another touchdown. I had him for 2 weeks and 1.
I know, right? He's going to be a really good quarterback. But right now, it's looking like his rookie season was his best season. But it ain't looking. It was.
Yeah, he's been chasing that for 2 years.
He's been chasing that for 2 years.
Yeah.
But we see Caleb actually get better. And to me, it was like, this is the same Caleb that we saw in year one. Caleb had many comeback drives that didn't execute.
Yeah.
When we look at the totality of how many drives were determined by just bad coaching decisions, we can beat that drum to high heck. Like, he probably has a lot more game-winning drives.
Hold on, Jimmy. Hold on, Jimmy. What you mean by that? What?
Hold on. What are we talking about? What we got going on?
What this mean, bro? Huh? Jimmy opposite. He just dropped a chat. He said, "My young boy's coming."
What? All right.
What's going on?
A little timeout on that one.
What's going on, Jimmy?
I don't know what's going on, Jimmy. That being said, we know definitively, like, this isn't a one-season fluke. Caleb showed these same qualities in his first year. He didn't have the team around him and stuff like that. Now with a little more protection, you actually get to see it. Good coaching, right? You actually get to see it actually translate to wins. So no, we definitively have the guy. And that's without question. It's not just a one-off. It's not a fluke. It ain't just a fly-by-night thing. Who else was a good QB that just had one good flash?
I mean,
Deshaun Watson,
a QB that had one good. No, Deshaun Watson had a couple of good seasons.
Deshaun Watson,
Deshaun was cold.
Threw for 4,000 yards behind a terrible offensive line.
Trying to think, I guess Mac Jones.
Nah, I ain't giving you that one.
It's Mac
You
Jones.
not like it, but that's literally that. He was rookie of the year and then not.
Yeah.
RG3.
Oh,
I mean, listen, RG3, but that was injury. But yeah, RG3.
I'm not gonna give injury and bad like personnel.
Well, that's all that's
we
left,
talk about
kid.
somebody who actually played. Like Carson Wentz got hurt.
Well, then you can't throw CJ Stroud
Well,
in
Carson
there
Wentz
because
was
his
getting
offensive line
MVP
went
by
from
that time, though.
His offensive line went from top 5 to bottom 5 in one season. So
yeah, Caleb didn't have a line at all last season.
Okay, but are you saying a person that
me
had
and
a
you were
flash in
blocking
the
Caleb
pan
still look
season?
good.
Mac Jones is in there.
Me and you were blocking Caleb still look good.
Everybody saying Jaden Daniels.
Shout out to Ken Naraki. He said super chat $5 super chat. He said Peter Woods defensive tackle is expected to be number 25 of the first round, a true 3-tech, a DA dream pick. Couldn't tell you who he is. I gotta take a look at him and see. I'll take your word for it. Windy City 210, shout out to you. He said, do you think the Bears are limiting how good the offense can be without designing any quarterback runs? No. I think it comes down to the conversation that we were just having about, what we have with the quarterback and what needs to happen with the team overall. Caleb needs to lock down some of those throws that it just sails on him and flies past the guy where it's nowhere near nowhere near the receiver and there's not a chance for him to catch it. I think when the ball hits receivers in the hands, they need to bring it in. I think there's an entire improvement that needs to happen on the offensive side. And it reminds me of talking with Jim Miller when we were doing After the Whistle together.
Another big flex.
He talked about how him and Marty Booker worked all off season and he knew everything about Marty. He was like, I knew how his right butt cheek would drop if he was coming out of a dig. I knew how his feet was going to be pointed if he had to, if he was coming out of a curl route. I knew where his hands were going to be. And now, listen, that's how you got to know, right? That's how you got to know the players.
Left cheek.
Like, so much, but it was because they had repped so much in the offseason, right? Like, so you knew literally every part of this mug's body and how it moved when he was on a route. And so you saw Jim Miller and Marty Booker have two of their best seasons of their career.
I mean, he could have said hip drops. He didn't have to say butt cheek.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I don't know what to tell you.
Cool. Hey, listen, shout out to Jim Miller.
But to me, when you see this upcoming season, that's the relationship I want to see Caleb have with Colston. That's the we shouldn't be having conversations on miscommunications.
No, not at all.
And I know Ben Johnson put the blame on him. I know Caleb Williams put the blame on himself in the miscommunication. Listen, there's one person that we haven't heard speak. I do think we might be right, JC. Did you see how they was dancing around the DJ Moore joint today? Anytime he was at. So Courtney said that an independent neurologist went into the tent So basically checking him for a concussion. And then he went back out there. And we ain't heard him talk since. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if this, when we was joking about Jackson Dart, I was like, I wonder if this is a Jackson Dart situation where he was, can he play?
That was
play?
OC,
Get him
bro.
out there.
That was so OC. Because he just knew he didn't have it.
She
He
said
was like,
his
"Hey, you
locker
ready?"
was cleaned out already. Locker clean out day was yesterday. She said his locker was already cleaned out, which means it seems like somebody was like, get up in there, clean that locker out. He got to go. They said that he left immediately after and didn't speak, and he wasn't there for locker clean out day. Hey, look, sometimes you got to save the team from themselves, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I ain't mad at it. You got to know how to
I
play
ain't
the game.
mad at it
baby.
either. Hey,
I can't confirm.
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I can't confirm nor deny whether that is what happened.
Nope, not either.
So
Nope.
is that why he ran the wrong route?
Possibly.
I think that's why he was jogging. I think that man thought
Possibly.
he was going Forrest Gump speed, and it was not.
But it was very interesting to see all of these things that are put together, and I was just like, oh, this man had a concussion and knew if he spoke they was gonna be able to figure it out.
So you mean to tell me?
they was about to be like, DJ, what happened on that last route? Bubblegum.
You mean to tell me we might be like killing this man, and he was out there putting his life on the line for the team?
Oh, I'll tell you this right now.
I can admit that. I can admit that.
Hey,
That
who
is
cleaned out his locker?
exactly-
He a real one too.
No,
Like,
no.
all of them are real one. Like all
That
of
is
them, like got him out of there.
exactly what's happening though. Like no, whether it's the concussion thing or not. DJ Moore went in the blue tent for ribs. He was in there for 5 minutes. Something happened. He come back out. He's still playing. He went into the blue tent for a concussion. We don't know. He came back out. He's still playing. He went into the sideline multiple times, just taking a knee, trying to fight through. We've seen DJ on the sidelines fighting through injuries. We've seen him fighting through the ankle. We've seen he played 6 weeks on an ankle that everybody was like, I'm pretty sure his ankle's messed up, and he never went down until they finally went, you got to sit out this week. So, like, to me,
But concussion different.
that is well, listen, they all playing through concussions at some point, brother. They getting in car accidents every play.
Everybody's
But, like,
on life is on.
That
Everybody's on the
is
line.
the exact type of player you want on your team.
Mhm.
And I thought it was either Ben Johnson or Rome said it today, or I'm not Rome. Ryan Pohl said it today. Other guys felt like they needed to be on the field because DJ wouldn't leave the field.
Yep. If he can play, I need to play.
If he can get out there, I have to go out there and play. So it is the kind of player you want on your team. It's just, what was that last round?
Yeah, I think we know what happened. Unofficially.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know
all
if
the
we know what
comments
happened.
about
I'm not
people
just
catching
going
the
to
ball,
assume we know what
Unofficially.
happened.
We're not going to
Speculation.
I'm gonna say this: if that's the
But
case,
if I
all
got
the
my
comments about
tinfoil,
catching the ball about Rome, then because Rome should have
listen.
caught that ball.
if I got my tinfoil hat on and I got a little music in the back, might be a little concussed. You played through it, and you know you got to get up out of there. The team gets fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, man, listen, I'm very excited with the mindset that this team has going into the offseason. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they add to the team. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this defensive line and how they finagle some of this money. That's going to be difficult to do. And so for me, like, find a way to make your team better so that you can come back and dominate in 7 months, because that's the most important thing. Like, no matter what, you've got some really good players here. They're going to build in chemistry. Find that piece that makes it so that you can say that team's going to the Super Bowl, because your window's open right now. You got about 2 years of it. So we'll see what ends up happening, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid, of course, man, the myth, legend, formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan the Don, and Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. This is your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Hey, Pat would be a great stewardess or steward. You know how they give those those pre-flight instructions. The way he said it was like, hey, you know what? With a mask falls, you put the mask on your stuff before you put. Like, I can see him doing that. It's just like,
Call me a stewardess, dog.
My bad, dog.
This man said I'm supposed to be walking the plane in a dress and high heels, bro.
Yeah. What?
Call me
Hey,
a
it's not
stewardess, bro. He
Patrick,
said
it's Patrice.
pantyhose up to the kneecaps, bro. What the heck is going on here?
Hey, that's sexist. Don't say
This
that.
man
if
called
I
me a
see-
stewardess,
If
bro.
I see Pat on a plane in a dress, I am getting off the plane.
Oh,
The
that
plane
plane
going down. Something wrong. Something's wrong.
Hey, I tell you right
That
now,
plane ain't gonna make it.
that plane going down. That is my signal to the rest of the passengers. Get
Hey.
off.
Hey, ain't no blink twice if you're in trouble. The dress is in trouble. That's it.
Oh my God.
How much they paying though?
Come on, you can't sell out for the dress.
Hey, dog. I do Big Mama's house too.
Oh God. Don't you start.